Okay, now we're going to talk about your headings tags. And your headings tags are what typically show up as big and bold on your website. And the way to think of it is it's kind of like the title of your article. So imagine if you were just writing an article for a newspaper, your heading would be the title of the article, if you will. So now the heading that we're talking about is not to be confused with the heading tags that you find on in your website. You know, where you have your meta tags, like your description, your keywords, and your title. This heading that we're talking about actually shows up in the body of your content. Because if you remember back on the meta tags video, what shows up here in the in this heading does not actually show up on the website. The heading that we're talking about does actually show up on the website, and it goes in between your body tags. So basically how this looks, if you're looking at the code, is it would look something like this. Title of site or article. That's how the H tag would look. Then your article content would go right underneath it. Now in your H1 tag, you want to make sure that you include your primary keyword phrase. So whatever it is that you're trying to rank your website for, you want to make sure that you include that phrase inside of your H1 tag. Now, in addition to your H1 tag, you can also have what's called the H2 tag, which the code for it looks very similar. Instead of saying H1, you just change it to H2. And you can have H3, and those are really the most important ones, your H1, your H2, and your H3. Now if you're H1, you want to make sure that you include your primary keyword phrase, and then your H2 and H3 can include your primary keyword phrase, or you can also go ahead and include your secondary phrases. So the other phrases that you want to rank for that also get search volume. So looking at my website here, one thing that's important to note is that just because it is big and bold does not make it a header. So this right here is not actually my H1 tag. This is just big, bold text. The H1 tag is the NWA Magician. And if I pull up the source here, and if I do a search, Control F for H1, you can see it shows up right here. And this right here is the text.